Mosin, I'm going to do a Mosin Nagant update on the Mosin Nagant M9130 rifles. And this is just for my area, in North Carolina, so I'm not talking. I know there's a lot of places that people go to these farm stores, farm and tractor stores, hardwood stores in some states, and they're all piled up like cordwood and available from anywhere from $80 to $100. Well, it's great. They probably bought 10,000 of them or something and stocked the store with them or whatever. And I'm just talking what I found out, and I did get some information, kind of reliable. At least where I live, they did kind of dry up a little bit. There was a period where people bought them up earlier in the year, and everybody was sold out. You're not seeing a lot of hex receivers. I haven't really checked like AIM and that to see if they got them in stock, but it looks like the hex receivers are kind of dried up. And locally at the gun shows, when I went to the one, I just went to one here in August, but when I went to the February one, there was a guy selling, he had all hex receiver Nagants for I think it's either $130 or $139, something like that, with all the accessories. And he sold 2 cases in a day and a half. There was somebody else that had some real nice wood, nice refinished ones, wanted $140 for them. He only had like 5 of them. But by the end of that show, those were gone also. Standard going rate, at least where I am, for an average gun is $130. And I think I went to the one dealer and he upped it to it's $139 now. But he had like 2 cases that were all laminate stock guns. This guy don't care. He just buys them. He pays X amount for them. He puts them out there, sets his price, makes his profit. He doesn't look at any markings or if it's got a laminate stock or not. He really doesn't care. Now there is a dealer that goes to the shows, a fairly large dealer. He sets up a lot of tables. Now he grades his guns. He has them. And he starts at about $140 to $180, depending on, he grades each one. He goes by the dates, he goes by the condition. If the stocks are really nice and that, the price goes up. And he had an assortment of guns. I went through a pile he had once. But he grades each and every individual gun, and the ones that are pretty beat up, he lets go for around $120 or something and sells them all out. And it's just people got it in their head that they're $100 guns, and that's what they pay for it. The real value is there's millions of them. There's probably millions of them in the United States. The actual value of it is what you can get somebody to pay you for it. That's what they're worth. Okay, if people don't want to pay more than $100, then they're not worth more than $100. That's the long and short of it. But it looks like the fad, because this last show, like I said, one dealer had a pile of them, 139, didn't sell. It didn't look like he sold any of them. The guy that graded them might have sold 1 or 2. So the days of people rushing into the gun show and then cases being emptied out and that are kind of slowing down. The prices are gradually going up, so it must mean that the availability's coming down. And I did hear from the Shotgun News and that it's a big thing in Europe. If any of you watch the international news, you see that there are conflicts and wars. The Europeans, especially the former Soviet Union, has huge stockpiles of weapons which they've decided are not to be sold. They're going to set up a program like they did in Germany, where everything will be destroyed and dismantled. Nothing will be sold as surplus to anyone. It's kind of international type of thing. Plus, Europe's in the middle of a giant recession, and it's going to create work for people for a few years. Of course, the Russian problems, it's not so much you're destroying old bolt-action guns and submachine guns and that. They have stockpiles of arms and ordnance all over the country that are more or less abandoned or locked up facilities where you have to care and maintain for explosives and missiles and stuff. or eventually over time they do break down if they're not cared for properly, and then a fire breaks out and then there's huge explosions, people are killed. So in the Soviet Union it's kind of a problem, and I guess they're just gonna clean up everything. All the sites will be taken and everything will be deactivated and destroyed. So that'll dry up the supply too. Not that there's any shortage of these guns anytime soon. They're not going to go up in value, I don't think. But basically that's the situation, and it may be that the days of the $100 gun, at least around here, unless somebody gets another big pile of them in cheap, are kind of drying up in my area. Now I know somebody sent me a message, oh, I got one for $80, and well, that's great. And whatever, if you can get them for $80, $100, fine, buy them. Buy 10 of them, whatever. But that's kind of the situation. It does look like it's kind of slowing down, and plus I think a lot of people that impulse buy, oh, it's $100. I think that's kind of also coming to an end. A lot of folks got their $100 gun. They're happy. So that's my input on the Mosin Nagant situation.